I do not own the copyrights to the music that's playing in the background. Thank you for spending the likes. I really appreciate it. Hi, all the way from Tennessee, Nebraska in the building. Kenny Nicole, how are you? How are you? We're gonna get started. Alexa, pause. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Thank you for spamming the link. Welcome back to the Mystic Friday podcast, the space with real conversation being real life. Today's episode is one that a lot of people ask for, but we want to talk about out loud. Dating street guys, hustlers, the trapsters, the gang connections, fast ways to survive the lifestyle. This is not about judgment. This is about truth, awareness, and protection. Because sometimes what feels like love is really just a survival mode in this life. Let me go ahead and give you a disclaimer. This is very important. This episode is for education and awareness. We are not stereotyping, attacking, or promoting hate towards anyone. We're talking about lifestyle patterns, risks, so people can make informed choices. With that being said, let's go ahead and let's enjoy this conversation. Okay? So I'm glad that you guys have made it. I'm glad that you guys have made it into the podcast. I am your host, Phenomenal Mindy. If you're not following me already, please follow me because I talk about everyday life issues, things that plague throughout the Black community, things that we need to hear, things that need to be said that people are afraid to speak on, So with that being said, we're gonna title this. This is what we're gonna title this. Give me just one moment. It seems like every time you get started, that's when people have the tendency of tapping in. So, nevertheless, we're titling this Dating Street Guys, Love, Loyalty, and Survival. Again, this is titled Dating Street Guys, Love, Loyalty, and Survival. I can speak about this topic and I can speak about it fluently simply because I have been there in that situation. I have encountered a lot of things that most people, again, don't like talking about or don't like really discussing. But why people are attracted to street guys? Can anybody tell me why? Just simply why? And hold on, let me get this so I can be able to see the comments over here. So, why people are attracted to street guys? Let's be honest. Street guys don't usually come boring. And again, I can attest to this because I've dealt with this firsthand. And a lot of times, we always say as women, nobody wants to be with a boring person. Or if they're not in the street, they're considered to be lame, or they consider to not even be on the level that you're on. Street guys, they lack confidence. And they come flashy, they come fearless, and they come with a reputation. Again, street guys comes with confident, they come flashy, they come fearless, and they come with a reputation. I can remember watching Whitney Houston, and I can remember trying to understand what did she see in Bobby Brown. And again, there's the flashiness, there's the they're not boring, they not none of those things that as we quote unquote consider to be lame. If or should I say square. If you're not encounter this, please by all means, this is a disclaimer. Keep it moving, keep it pushing. Do not go ahead. Do not. Okay. So I'm just letting you know. The street guys definitely come flashy, fearless, and they comes with a reputation. So you have to ask yourself, are you willing to participate or are you willing to be a volunteer to whatever comes along with dating a street guy? There's an excitement factor, the protector image that a street guy gives off, the fast money illustration, and the ride or die fantasy that we all, we want somebody that say, oh, I'm a ride or die. But I'm just gonna be honest, with this age in my life, I'm no longer considered in the ride or die. Because again, the ride or die type of things comes with a reputation and comes with a lot of things that we didn't even sign up for. And when I say we, I mean in women. We didn't even sign up for this particular thing. Thank you for the spam. Thank you for the likes over here on TikTok. But I've encountered this, and I'm gonna be transparent with you because I felt that this needs to be talked about, and I'm not ashamed about anything that I've encountered, anything that I have to deal with or that I have dealt with in my life. I used to be a prison wife. That is not something that I will ever in my life do again, ever. I will never become a prison wife, never, ever, 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 ever again. Because being a prison wife, again, it comes along with the confidence or the things that they're feeding you behind the bars, or the fearless of, oh, I'm gonna be with you for this X amount of time, or I'm do this certain thing with this particular person because they held me down. And it's not something that I'm interested in. I'm just being real and I'm being honest because we ain't trying to go there at all. So when someone's like they're untouchable, it feels powerful to be chosen by them. And again, I keep using the example of Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston. I'm not gonna say that they was not a bad couple for each other, but it was very toxic. And I think towards the end, it was a lot too much that Whitney had bargained for. I don't think she included, or I don't think she had in mind that this was going to take to be with a bad guy. Because at the end of the day, look what it did to Whitney. It broke Whitney down to something that she wasn't even, raised to even be a part of. So bad guys, or should I say street guys, they give their protector persona. And when they give that, sometimes it's, for me, with women, you're going to get a protector anyway. If you're not getting a protector whatsoever, then what are we doing? So I don't know why the protector image comes along with the bad guys, because thank you for the likes and spam, because it's not something cute. I'm not proud of that. Again, I used to be a prison wife, and I was a prison wife for about 4, maybe 5 years. Thank you for the gifts over here on TikTok. Hey, cuz, how are you? I'm at work, but I wanted to pop in. I appreciate you popping in, and I thank you for popping in. And it was something that I wasn't proud of. Again, I would never ever do that in my entire life again. That was just something that I was doing at a particular time, and I don't even know, even looking back, because now it's been a total of probably about 15-ish years ago. And I liked the bad guys at that particular point. I was fascinated. I was a Whitney Houston. I was looking for a Bobby Brown. And I didn't understand fully what it looked like. I didn't understand what I had to do or what was my role in being a prison wife. I didn't understand it at that time. I am divorced 5 years now out. And looking back again, is something that I will never, ever in my entire life, let me say that, never, ever, ever in my entire life do no shit like that, because it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. And I didn't realize till later on what I was doing by participating or looking for that ride or die type of guy, because I was young. I didn't understand what ride or die really mean. I just know that it was affiliated with bad boy, or it was something that's close to bad boy. I appreciate the gifts, cousin. And so I knew that, nah, it wasn't something that I was interested in doing. So the reality behind the image is what they don't show you on Instagram, what they don't show you on Facebook and TikTok and all of the other social medias is the paranoia. It's the constant watching your back. It's the enemies, it's the police, it's the jail time, it's the funeral. So I'm giving you, for instance, in my situation as being a prison wife, there were always, there was always, even with him behind bars, a constant thing of watching the back or watching this because, of course, we all know they have phones now in there. So that was a thing that I enjoyed. Far as having a husband that was in prison, I enjoyed the phone conversation because at the end of the day, that's all we had. You know, we didn't have anything else. We didn't have that could bond us together. Thank you for the gifts. We didn't have absolutely nothing to bond us together other than this phone that we macking on. That's all we had. So even locked up still, even behind prison and behind he was in state prison, there were still enemies and there were still police again because there's things that them guys do behind there that they have to be watching out for, you know. And even after he got out, he did good for a certain amount of time. And all of his stuff was just really petty stuff that he had to deal with himself that I wasn't willing to take on or that I wasn't willing to bear. And that was him going back to see his PO. And I felt like, shit, that's your responsibility. If I've carried you throughout this whole entire way, or if I've set the bar, or if I set the tone for everything else, shit, can't you go to can't you go to your PO on your own? Why you need me to go with you? Like I didn't understand that. I never got the opportunity to participate in funerals. He was a gang member affiliated, and I'm not going to say the gang, but there was never a fear of mine, being that he was the age that he was. He was kind of, as they considered, laid back, or as they consider OG. So it wasn't funerals, but on an average, when you're dating these particular guys, these are some of the things that you will encounter, that you will, come across, that you got to ask yourself, am I really a ride or die like Whitney and Bobby, or I'm just here just because I'm here? Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the love, Chop Beats. And so, I learned my lesson. Again, I would never do that shit again. That was something that I was really trying, and something that I just will never do again. I'm not looking for a bad boy. Now, don't get me wrong. I also have my type, but I've also learned within these last 15 years that your type is not going to be the person who's going to pick you up. It's not going to be your knight in shine and armor. The thuggish guys, if that's what you like, that's not going to be your knight in shining armor. I'm just going to be real. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that with you. But dating a bad boy, dating a bad guy, you have to watch yourself. You have to watch your surroundings, even though it's not you. But when you're affiliated with, I'm gonna say this: when you're affiliated with things, you becomes part of the thing that you're affiliated with. So therefore, whatever that looks like, your ass is on the chopping block. It is no shortcut. It is no, oh, it wasn't me. I wasn't the actual person that did it, or I wasn't the one that actually said it, or I wasn't this or that. Oh, baby, let me tell you. You kind of, in a sense, property to that particular person. So therefore, you are a part. You are a part. You are affiliated. You are associated. There's no escaping that. And so guys that have been in prison for a long time, whether it's federal, state, or county, you this is what they do. Thank you for the gifts. This is something that you're gonna have to encounter. Am I gonna be willing to do time with him? You gotta ask yourself, am I gonna be willing to do time with him? Like dead ass. Like, are you really that ride or die, or you just saying it because it looks good and it looks glamorous, or I may get all the shit that comes along with it. Thank you for the gifts. So ask yourself that before you go head in first. Are you really ready to handle this business? Because like some guys say, shit, if babe, if I don't pop them, you pop them, then I'm a felony shit. You might well pop them because you ain't got nothing on your record. And then now, your whole record messed up. So are you really ready for? I'm telling you, if y'all haven't watched any of the Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown story, any of those ones, you would definitely understand what I'm talking about. And when I say what comes along with the territory, are you ready? Are you built for this? You know, thank you for those. Thank you for the gifts. Now, let me tell you something. A lot of the guys that have been bad guys. Now, all of the bad guys have not been in the prison. Let me say this: all of the bad guys have not been in prison, but the ones that have are living in survival mode. A lot of them are institutionalized. So I was telling somebody, one of my homegirls I was having a conversation with, and I was telling her, most of the bad guys do have a background, right, or felony, right? And are you equipped for we may not get this house? Are you equipped for he can't stay here? Are you equipped for that? You know, are you really really equipped for that, or are you just here along for the ride? You know, ask yourself that. Can you handle that? And they are institutionalized, so a lot of them are broken. And I'm sorry to say that some men don't want to hear that, but a lot of what we like to call street guys are broken. Hey, Chop Beats, thank you for love. I will return the love. Thank you for showing. And stay where you're in and where you're chatting from, Chop Beats. But a lot of people don't know that or don't understand it, or they just looking at, oh, I like the persona that they put on as a protector. But a lot of them are broken or disconnected from who they really are. At this day and age and time, I'm not in a position to raise any men. I'm not in a position to do that. I'm not in a position to tell you basic or minimum things that you should already be doing. What's up? Oh, okay. What's up, Child Beast? Thank you for showing me the love. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing the live, Jay. Thank you all. So I'm not in a position for that. So if that's what you're looking for, then you might want to go left, because I'm not interested and I'm not interested in helping you get shit together. I ain't interested in it. I don't know nothing about nobody else, but Phenomenal Mindy ain't interested in it. Because at some point in your life, you should already come healed to a certain degree. You should already have the minimum basic skills, as Joe Clark said, to pass the test. You should have that. I appreciate that, Chop Beats. I appreciate that. Thank you for showing the love. What's up, Jake? And so, I ain't got time for that. It's either you come heal or you don't come at all. And as I said in the last show, or was it this morning, a lot of times women are not operating in a feminine energy. A lot of times women already beating the man to the punch. Like, where are you going? Like, why are you speeding? What is the rush? If he came to you and asked you for your number, wait for the date. If the date never happened, then oh well, on to the next. Why are you already setting the date? You done already picked up, oh, we need to go here. I done already picked this out. We need to go here. Why? What you rushing for? What's the rush? What the song said, take your time. What's the rush? Thank you, cuz. Thank you, Chop Beast. I appreciate that. What is the rush? Why are we rushing? So women need to operate in a feminine energy. When you operate in your feminine energy, you are what you supposed to be. Not in your masculine. Now I'm not saying that everybody don't have masculine and feminine energy. That's not what I'm saying. Because everybody have a masculine energy, everybody have a feminine energy. Males focus more on the masculinity energy, and the women's supposed to operate in the feminine energy. You know, I am light skinned. Thank you. I appreciate it. So why are you speeding ahead and then I already done did some shit? Like, appreciate it, Jay. I appreciate it. Give yourself some time. You know, don't be rushing. And then when you get into a relationship with an institutionalized person, they are already looking at you to do everything. I'm just being honest. They're already looking at you to do every single thing. I remember when I was married, and then when he first got out, and he's supposed to be this old thug guy. I'm not gonna say the gang he affiliated with, and hell, he couldn't even read the damn menu. And it's not he couldn't read. It's I don't know if his nerves wouldn't allow him to read the menu. So every time we would go somewhere, I would have to say what it is, or I would have to, be like, okay, this is what he want, and he'd be like, oh baby, you say this. Nah, what happened to that thug in you? We don't know how to talk. I'm really being honest. In survivor mode, institutionalized, living double lives, side women's, anger problems. Like, it's a lot to really deal with a street guy. It's not easy. What do you think? Do you think, and this me asking a hypothetical question, what do you think, or what are the baggage that comes along with dating a street person? Street person or gang affiliated person, or however you want to look at that. What do you think comes along with that? Because I can go on, like I can give a whole entire list on what it is. Again, because I used to be a prison wife. I'm no longer a prison wife. I'm out 5 years now. So you said bonds and lawyers. I'm weak. So is that something that male look at in a woman when they're dating? I want to know. Like is that what what it is, or that's what we doing? A lot of them have trust issues as well, because being in the streets, you're taught to don't trust nobody. I'm being honest. You're taught to not trust a soul. You hear me? Nobody. And I don't know where that stigma came from, but you're taught to not trust no one. So there's always trust issues. There's always, you live in a double life. There's always side women. There are always anger problems. And what do you say, Jay? True. Yeah, I'm serious. Like, definitely. And like I said, I guess that's what comes along with the territory. I'm guessing, because I'm not a male, so I can't really say. I could only give you the women perspective of what it is and what it ain't. And I don't know why the trust issues come into play. I don't know if because the male was raised that way, or raised without a lack of parental guidance, and so therefore you don't trust nobody. And I'm saying it could be you don't have your mama, or it could be you don't have your daddy. Whichever one. Somebody missing out of the equation. If we being brutally honest, somebody is missing out of the equation. You're not just dating him, you're dating the streets, his enemies, his habits, and his trauma. I can say, laying in the bed with my ex-husband, I could literally, even in his sleep, I can hear him talk about things that so far back, because he End up going to prison at a young age. So there was a lot of things he didn't get a chance to fulfill. There was a lot of things he didn't get chance to do. So there were always nightmares. And not to the point where, oh, they're scary, but it just was, oh, the point. What are you talking about? I wake up like, what are you talking about? Who are you talking to? Like, where is this coming from? You know? And I'm not going, I'm going to be real, y'all. I just say, I ain't finna date you and then I'm finna get killed too because I'm affiliated with you. That ain't something I'm interested in doing. But that will come along with the territory. And you have to ask yourself, am I, willing to do this? Is this something that I signed up for? His habits of not coming in may come in, and if he do come in, he gonna come in, eat, maybe shower, then go back and hit the streets again. So what time he got for you? Oh, baby, I'll call you. You'll call me. Like what? What you mean you'll call me? You just been out here 15 hours. What you trying to do? Like, what are you trying to prove? I'm being honest. I don't want to date your enemies. I don't want to date your habits. I don't want to date your trauma. I ain't with all of that. At this point in my life, I'm good on it. I don't know nothing about nobody else, but I'm good on it. And I'm 40s. I'm in my 40s. I'm not 40 years old, but I'm in my 40s. I'm good on it. I'll let that be for the young folks if this is something you want to do. But red flags, don't y'all ignore them. Don't ignore the red flags. The red flags can always be phone always on silent, random disappearance. That means you randomly disappear. You at home, like I said, you done did 15 hours. You get in the shower. Then my turn to get in the shower. I'm thinking we finna lay down. You done went on out the door. Like, what is that? What we doing? It could be the controlling tendency. And that was a big one. My ex-husband, oh my God. When I say control. And I'm talking about not the control like what you better do with I say, not that type of control. I'm talking about the control. Where you at? What time you get there? What time you gonna be back? What all y'all doing? Who all there? Put me on FaceTime. Put me on Duo. Let me talk. That's what I'm talking about. That was the control, and then you doing that from the prison cell. Like, come on. What you on? How you trying to control something from behind the bars? I can remember out of 5 years of me going to see him. I only missed once. Once in 5 years. That man like to been had a heart attack so bad. I ain't lying to you. I'm trying to figure out what was all that for? And I'm asking him, I'm like, man, you on the phone. Why you tripping, bruh? Thank you for sending the populars. I appreciate that. If you can spam the likes and help me stay up on the top, I greatly appreciate that. And I'm like, why are you trying to control something? You can't control me from there. Because get what I do? I hang that phone up and then you won't hear shit else from me. So now you sitting behind there and walk a groove in the damn concrete trying to figure out what the fuck I'm doing. Like, for real. I appreciate the share. I appreciate the sharing the live, cause like y'all know I ain't lying. Y'all know I ain't lying. Like, how can you try to control from back there? Now, the unexplained money, like what this said.
They say that money don't buy happiness, but baby, I sure in the hell would like to find out. I ain't never got my hands on no real life money like that. No. Now don't get me wrong, when he was in there, he was doing stuff, he was sending stuff home. But at the same time, that wasn't no money shit where I could quit working. No. I had a job. Like, come on. They would say, he would send stuff to help ends me. You know, that would be it. But you got to think about it. You know, is this something you really want to sign up for? A lot of the street guys have short temper. I wonder why. I still have not been able to figure that out. Why are your temper short? Is it like they used to say back when, down on Skin Row or something, and you done had an attitude since then? Like, what's the attitude for? Like, you better not say nothing wrong, you better not do nothing. I'm gonna slap the shit out of you. Is it like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? Jay said fact. But like, what is it, Jay? What's with the short temper? Why the short temper have to come along with being a street guy? What is the short temper for? I don't understand that. If he's controlling who you talk to, where you go, and what you wear, that's not protection, that's possession. And that's what my ex-husband felt like I was positioned to him. I'm not lying to you. Like I said, I couldn't go a place without him being on the phone, by him having so much time on his hand. He felt like he needed to be where I was at all time, but on the phone. What you say? You can't play games with no one. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. Not with no street man. No. Because their temper already short. No. That's something you ain't finna do. Shit. Dating street guys doesn't just put your heart at risk, it puts your life at risk too. And it definitely does. Because I can honestly say that a lot of things that I did learn, a lot of things that I did back in those times, I only had one child, and I definitely regret introducing or being a prison wife. But again, this is Miss Brown. How are you? If you spamming something in here over TikTok, I can't see it because it is telling me that some of the comments are being filtered. But I didn't have time for games. I had a crazy husband. I had a fool, as they would say, a fool on my hands. But at the end of the day, baby, I love me a street guy. It's just what I love, and it's just the image. It could be the from the locks to the clothes to everything. So now at the age of 40, you gotta have a little bit more sense about yourself. You can still not be in the street, but from the streets, but have some dignity about yourself. You can't be 60 years old talking about you slanging. You slanging what? You used to be crazy as fuck. What, Jay, like, okay, so was it the fast life that put you in that position on that mentality, or was you already crazy before you even became in the streets? I just want to know. I just want to know. Like, which one was it? Thank you for the gifts, cause I appreciate that. But data street guys, it definitely puts your life at risk. It's the fast life. I mean, hey, and some, like I said, some women always want to be the Bobby Brown and the Whitney Houston. So Whitney Houston gonna be Whitney Houston no more. And then she said enough is enough. You know, she loved Bobby. She did. But Bobby didn't give a shit. Cause I remember looking at it, and Bobby would tell certain women you love them, you had kids on the outside. Now, I'm glad none of that ain't happened, you know. Because back then, when I was a prison wife, you could do conjugal visits. So it didn't even matter. It didn't even matter. But I never got to the point. I'm gonna say this: when he did get out, he called himself gonna try to slang something, try to get back the years that he lost, thinking he was, slanging before he went in there and think you can come out. Here you is, damn near 50, talking about you finna slang. All right, let me see what you slanging. You know. So then you get you a little QP. You trying to flip that. I'm sitting back looking at him like this some crazy shit. Like you really, really trying to go back. And then I'm thinking like you jeopardizing me and what I got, but it was the image. It was the ride or die. It was the I always know that I know when it's time to get out there in that field, stand 10 toes down, I know he gonna do that. I knew he was gonna do that. His court paper told me he was gonna do that. And so I can identify that something inside of me wasn't used to protection. So on that end of the stick, that protection, that was good for me. That was good for me. Simply because I ain't had that growing up. So I know that he would definitely get out there and get active. So active so I'd be like, wait a minute now. You said I've dated street dudes and that life is crazy. Absolutely. I am light skinned. Absolutely. It's man. It's fun, but it's fun till it ain't fun no more. It's fun till it ain't the fun no more. And then now your feelings hurt. When you could avoid all that and not even participate with that. You know, I never dated someone that slung or someone that, you know, do a lot of other stuff that I ain't gonna say on this internet, but where police have to get really, really involved. Now, these are his caseworkers and probation officers. It's my father I got. That he wouldn't follow the rules and shit. You want to be out and you still don't want to obey. Come on now. Come on now. What we doing? He said, I wasn't ready. I wasn't. Shit, I'm like, I ain't signed up for all this. And then he was like, shit, are you my wife or not? And I'm like, am I? Because again, this was a lot. But it was never nothing, like, some retaliation may happen or something like that. Nah. But I will say, when dating a street guy, women and men lack something is where the connection is that can be considered to be trauma bonding. And I think that's where a lot of it come in. Some people call it pillow talking. Some people do call it that. But trauma bonding is when two parties have trauma going on and they are the same story or similar stories, and you're bonding through that. And that's all you have together. And so you saying, oh, I see how you feel. Oh, I see how I feel. Well, I ain't gonna leave you, or I ain't gonna do you like them other people did. That's trauma bonding. So now y'all got a connection through trauma. Nobody healing through the trauma. You just got a connection through trauma, and you bonding, and then you pillow talking at night. And it ain't all about that. If you can't come heal in this day and time in my life, I'm not interested. I wouldn't even be interested. I wouldn't even give you the time of day. Because if you hadn't healed from your trauma, then look, it's going to be problematic. Because I'm going to do some retaliation. I'm going to do some court cases. I'm going to do some police involved. I'm going to shoot the target. Because some of these guys are crazy out here. But your trauma ain't my trauma to bear, and I ain't finna bear that. So Did ride or die you looking for? And then I'll be like, ride or die. Ride or die. Shit, ain't I'm already dead for riding? I'm just being honest. Am I already there? You know, a lot of it be domestic violence, and there's a risk that you take because a lot of the street guys have anger issues, and you have to ask yourself if this is something I want to take on. You know, is my peace worth being disturbed? You know, ask yourself that because they already have this short temper, and you thinking domestic violence is not going to be somewhere in the category. Like, come on. Chop Beats, what's up? What's good? What's Razzle? What's good? I'm just being real. When violence is normal in their world, it becomes normal in a relationship. Violence becomes normal. It goes along with the short temper. It goes along with the controlling tendencies. It goes along with the random disappearance. It goes along with the phone always on silent. Domestic violence and street life roll into one. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is. It is. Thank you for the gift, Razzle. And I experienced them all at the same time. It is. It is. And you be so embarrassed. You be so embarrassed. So embarrassed. Because a lot of time as women, we've been stood up against our family for them and then turn around. Now you, man, look. I gotta chill out on some of this cussing because I want to say so much stuff, but I don't want the FCC to be stop what I got going. So I gotta learn to control some of the cussing. However, nevertheless, domestic violence is not nothing that you take lightly. And again, most of these street guys got a short temper. I don't know why, but there's just something that comes along with them, and it could be traumatic for them. Some stuff that comes along with their childhood, you know, that they haven't healed from, and a lot of them, the streets done raised them. A lot of them, the streets have raised them, you know, and that's not your fault. That's not your cross for you to bear. That's not your torch for you to pass on. You are not responsible for no one else healing. If a person truly love you, if a person truly inspired by you, they will heal on their own and in their own time. If they don't, then damn it, they ain't for you. They ain't for you. I don't care how cool they is. They ain't for you. You ain't they mama. You don't need to be trying to fix them. This ain't a young to fix my life. You destroyed your own life. So why am I subject to being your girl and I gotta help fix you? I appreciate that, Rouse. I appreciate that. So nah, we ain't doing that. It's your drama to fix. That's your trauma to fix, not mine. When you gonna be back with the stuff you talk about in the streets? When you gonna be back there? Oh, it's your girl, so I guess you ain't gotta do that. Like I'm being honest. Like what do you think? You know, safety comes first. And that could be physical, that could be mentally, emotionally, whatever that looks like in protecting yourself and your peace. You know? Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate that. So, love yourself first before you give yourself to someone else. Because you can't give yourself to someone else and you broken too. You can't do that. Mm-mm. There's always going to be a problem. There's always going to be a conflict of interest. You know, it's not going to be like you think it's going to be. So work on you. Don't let nobody else control you or put you up in a domestic violence situation. Don't you be the example that need to be made by a man. No, get out of there. Your person is not going to be your type. Just straight up, your person is not gonna be your type. I'm sorry if you thought your person was gonna be, you know, that girl that held you down. My bad. I come to tell you, nah, it ain't gonna happen like that. You know, you get you somebody square, get you somebody that they say lame. And when I say square and lame, that's because you just don't participate in frolic activities. You don't do all that extra stuff. When I say that, you know. But let's talk about the hardest question. Can a street guy change for love? That's the ultimate question. Can a street guy change for love? Tap the screen, get the likes of yes, spam the likes, y'all. Tap the screen to keep me up in the FYP, keep me up in the For You page. Spam the likes, spam, spam, spam. Women, what you saying? Women or violent? Or are you saying women are violent? Which one are you saying, Jay? Are you saying women are violent? Chop Beats, you said he gotta wanna change. Absolutely, absolutely. Jay said women are okay. So now, Jay, you saying women are valid. So you want to turn the table, but are women out in the street more than men? Like, let's keep it real. What do you think over here on Facebook and YouTube? I want to know. You say you eat. I get it. I get. You said damn near now. I ain't gonna lie. There's some women out here violent, but we talking about being in the street. We talking about dating street guys. Cause CJ, I see where you want to kind of go with it, and you now we talking about dating a street guy, love, loyalty, and survival. So the question is, can a street guy change for love? Can he? I'm going to say he can, but I'm definitely going to have to agree with Chops. He gotta definitely want to change. You know, because if I'm being honest with you, uh, again, I've been divorced 5 years, and my ex-husband now he see that the grass is not greener on the other side. It's a little purple, a little yellow, a little lime green, not green. And so now he ready to come back on this side, but we good in divorce. You said the new females go pull up the strap before the dude, and that's go back to what I said earlier on. Shoot, most guys want a female, where they a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's exciting to them. Jay, you say yes. You say yes and no. Hmm. So you don't. So Jay, see you gonna make me take it there, and I'm trying not to take it there. But Jay, my question for you is: you say yes and no. Why do you say no? I am light skinned. You said that part. Absolutely. Why do you say no, Jay? That's that Bunny and Clyde love. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown type of thing. That's what that is. And I ain't here for that. I ain't signed up for that. No. Go work on you. Go work on you. Go work on you. Facebook and YouTube. Go work on you. Heal from your traumas. And especially if your mama ain't in your life, You said money more important. But that's not the question, though, Jay. That's not the question. Because, excuse me, after the money, then what? Because we knowing damn well no money can't make you calm. Just and money can't hold you. They said, but money can't buy happiness, I guess. But I sure would like to find out. Give me $1 million, let me find out. Let me see. Let me see the money buy happiness. The question was, Shay, can a street guy change for love? You say yes and no. But then you turn around and say money important. So, can the money buy you? Jay, can the money buy you? That's the question. Can the money buy you? Because the way you putting it is like you can be bought. Like being honest. Thank you for the lie. Thank you for the light. I'm boy, J. Um, change requires leaving a relationship. This is reality check. Let me be on. You said 250K cash, not cash in my hand. Let me see. Well, grease my palm a little bit, cuz. Let me see. Shit. Let me see if it can buy happiness. I $250. I could do some things with that. I could buy me a house and pay my car off. Look, and get a vacation too. Ask me how I get to them and I'll show you. I'll show you how to flip it. I'll show you how to flip that. Real change takes years. Changing without money, no old lady. You talk about that? Okay, cuz that way. Without money, no old lady. JC, now you want to open up a whole nother topic of conversation, which is a sidebar conversations. You come to the party. Are you asking me? Am I coming to the party? I am light skinned. So change requires leaving the lifestyle. Real change take years. Love is not enough. Safety comes first. Potential will get you hurt if you ignore the patterns. God dog. I'ma tell you, and a lot of people don't like to hear this. Not the $40 special. God damn. Oh, I am light skinned. I am. I'm gonna be I'll tell you that later. So potential will get you hurt if you ignore them patterns. You have to ask yourself, what was going on that I couldn't see the patterns? What was going on that I couldn't see the signs? Like why was I ignoring everything that was right there in front of me? Why wasn't I paying attention? You know? Is it because I love the Bobby Brown and he loved the Whitney? Is that what it was? Like seriously. Now, is it in them feelings? I'm telling you, definitely in them feelings. Like man, let me ask you this, Chop, and I'm gonna ask Jay and whoever else listening for as a guy. Would you date a street girl? I am light skinned. You already told us your story. So I want to know, would you date a street person? Now, at this time in your life, now, not back then, now, would you date a street person? I'm gonna be honest. I ain't built for it too. You said no, Jay. I ain't built for it tough. Mm-mm. I ain't got it in me. Because right now, I'm just looking at, look, we need to have a good time and go on some trips and do some things and accomplish a lot of stuff. I ain't got the time to be shit. Damn, what's a light shining in the house? Is there somebody pulling up outside? You said, hell no, I'm trying to go to work and home. Chops, ain't got time to be ducking that up. I'm telling you now, because we good in the 40s. Look, I leave them for the YNs. I definitely leave them for the YNs. Have you ignored red flags before in a relationship when it came to dating somebody toxic? Jay, you said, I'm not street anymore. I understand that, and man, look. You said yes, you have ignored, yeah, because I loved him, and I kept saying, oh, potential maybe. Well, he just got this little thing wrong with him, and maybe he'll act right. If I cook him a little something to eat, maybe he will. We all ignore signs, hoping for the best. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Chops. Like we all have. I ain't gonna say ignore shit. Goddamn, I put the blinders on. Like I can't see it. I don't want to see it. No. But where do you draw the line in? At what point did you draw the line? For me, it was when I began to see. Let me share this. And some of y'all again don't know this. For me, after he got out of prison, he did good for probably roughly 2 to 3 years, roughly maybe two. And we was living in Arkansas, and he came home. He began to do good, got a good job. With the charges he had, he wasn't even supposed to have that job. So the job that he worked at, I was surprised that a lady worked there, and the lady worked there, and he was what do you call it? He was putting doors on the 18 wheelers, and he was making them and wheeling them on. So I was surprised that a lady, a female, was working in this position. So this lady, she began to come to our home, all type of parties that we had. You know, she's supposed to be cool. And for me, that's who he ended up sleeping with. And I was concerned because I kept saying, wait a minute now. Why she always invite you places that she know you got a wife? Why would she do that? Why would she invite you to a space knowing that you got a wife and you didn't warn her? So my thing for her is why I was so kept up with her simply because you came to my house and you ate my food. You know, you sat at my table. So it was more or less a principle thing for me. If she hadn't came to my, I could care less because I'm checking him. But for her, I check her simply because you came to my house and you ate my food. Like, why did you do that? Like, why would you come to somebody's house and eat their food and then turn around and sleep with their man? You're grimy as fuck. You do that, you know. So, you know, I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt simply because him being locked up all the many years, they did not. Let me say that did not erase because we still were able to have conjugal visits and I was able to stay up on the compound at certain particular times. However, that's another story for another day that I'm willing to share, but not today. And so I just couldn't understand. Kept saying, well, hey, Mindy, why you ignoring these damn red flags? What's so good about it? But it was the facade that he was getting out. Yes, chop beat staying on the compound. If you don't know anything about conjugal visits or how things work, particularly in the state of Mississippi, you are allowed to do a lot of particular things, conjugal visits, and also what they call family house. He said, "Oh, you deep in it, deep in it. Oh yeah, oh yeah." So they had something called family house, and family house is just basically you can bring your kids, whatever, whoever name on the visitation list can come and spend a night on the compound. And I think this was only for the state of Mississippi. I'm not aware of if it's Texas or whatever, because there was another state that did come to the visit too. But anyway, another topic for the day. So I can bring everything or anything that I wanted to bring that was approved to the compound. Bring things that I wanted to cook. There was grill. There was like houses everywhere. All on the compound. If you're familiar with the Mississippi State Penitentiary, you know what I'm talking about. So you could go on the compound and you could spend a night and you could drink your alcohol or whatever. Now you couldn't get no drugs in it unless you was a professional. But back then it wasn't. Look, I'm already seeing you. I don't need to be in here with you. Shit. So unless so you could bring a lot of things onto the compound. And it was a family house. Now why am I? Bear with me. TikTok is doing its own thing. Like what is this? Talking about some drag the puzzle piece in the center. TikTok do the most. But So I began to stay there. And so anyway, I said all that to say that still didn't give him a justified reason to do what he did. And so I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I'm saying, you know what? Well, maybe he just used to seeing me. This is what how I'm thinking, how I'm processing. This is not how I'm processing that, it's how I'm thinking. My mind back then. I'm like, okay, well, he could he been seeing me all this time and been dealing with me all this time. Well, maybe he wanted to, something different. So the first time I gave him a pass. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I gave him a pass. And I said, well, maybe that's what he wanted to do. And then you kept on. You kept on. So you spiral out of control. Now you blowing me up, talking about some, oh, I see what it is now. Cause ain't nobody there like Mindy was. So a lot of street guys don't see that until it's too late. And when it's too late, don't bring your ass back. Don't try to spin the block. If you do, spin the block and hit the curb and go on up the road. Don't stop by here. Oh no, don't stop by here. Don't stop by here. What's up, Scrappy? I don't need you to stop by here. Cause you with all that, and I ain't got time for all that. I'm on a whole nother level. The Mindy you knew back then is not the Mindy you think you finna get now. Cause baby, I make your head swim. Make your head swim. You be asking yourself, I should have just left when I left and should have just stayed gone. Cause what are you doing? What are you trying to, what are you trying to see? What are you trying to prove? Like, nah, I'm good on you. But you be good though, respectfully. You know. So for me, that was drawing the line in the sand. And I was like, I can't do this no more. I'm good on you. You know. And I'm not even gonna say with him it was trauma bonding because there was no like trauma that he had other than being locked up. You know. So I had to see for myself and realize now this is not something I'm interested in doing. Take your ass on. You know. I'm not finna play. I'm not finna say, oh, he is cute though. Or he is handsome though. Yeah. But what's up here? Nothing. It's like a blank sheet of paper. You just out here surviving. Whatever that looks like for you, you surviving. And that's cool for you, but not for me though. It's not something I'm interested in doing or being a part of. So, at certain age, we got to normalize. Stop dating people that's of potential. Stop being with potential. Oh, I see that he could, Ain't no way at 50 years old you still having potential. Come on now. Ain't no way at 50 you hollering potential. What potential? That bulb ain't came on yet. It's either the lines are crossed, the wire are tangled up. Something ain't right. But I don't want it. You can have it. It can be good for you, but not for me. If that's what you want to do. No. I'm good on that. But I do want to thank y'all for over here on YouTube and Facebook. I do want to thank y'all for watching. And I do thank y'all for tuning in with me and listening to whatever I have to say. And I'm all about helping the community grow. I'm all about helping the community get past these trauma. I'm all about helping, not hindering the community. And when I say community, I'm meaning the Black people. Let me just throw that out there. I'm meaning that. Us, never them. I'm just saying. But always tell your story though. Whatever that looks like for you. And one of these days, I'm gonna come on here and I'm gonna be able to break everything down. Because a lot of people don't know that I used to be a prison wife. Been there, done that. Had I wished I could have been on the prison wives on show, absolutely not. I'm good on that. It was enough embarrassing as it is. So why would I need to come on the show just to show I was a fucking prison wife? Ain't no honor in that. I ain't like nah. I did it. It's done, but never again. Appreciate the gifts, Jay. Um, I'm good on that. I could do bad all by myself, so I no longer participate or flock to tendencies. You can go on to somebody else with that. I'm good. Your potential can be potential for somebody else. Like nah. Only potential I may work with you trying to cook. That's the only potential I may get like, okay. Let me see. You know? But all that extra stuff, I ain't got time for it. Mm-mm. Because we need to heal because we got children behind us. We got a whole nother generation that's coming behind us and need the people that we had. And a lot of that is not because the people that's in the 40s and 50s and 60s are not healing from the trauma that they once had, and teaching the children. And we're not going to operate in this type of energy. So we gotta do better with that. Yeah. Well, y'all, you deserve peace, not survival mode. You deserve stability, not stress. You deserve love that feels safe, not love that's keeping you looking over yourself. This is a domestic Friday podcast. New episodes are every Friday. If this conversation helped you, share with someone that's new to hear, or it will be uploaded on YouTube to you to share. And for maybe it could inspire somebody down the path. So you're not capable of doing, and that's okay. It's okay. We need more people like Apple that can spread awareness. Love you to stay safe. And you do have a great and to it. But make sure you're following me on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. If you have not followed me, make sure you follow me and subscribe. We talk about everyday life issues. We don't should again, I'm working on cooking for the LCC. If it had not been for the LCC, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But nevertheless, I mean, that's the thing that keeping it from being monetized over here on YouTube. So with that being said, see you on the next episode of Domestic Friday. It has been a pleasure. It has been an honor sitting and chatting with you. Maybe next time you can be able to chat a little bit more. I can feel an audience coming in through YouTube. I don't know what's on YouTube. Like, I don't know. Look, this thing don't mean you ain't no. Oh, that being said, bye.